I'm in downtown Valdosta. This is the center of our town. It's called the Old Courthouse. This is where the county used to run the government of the county. All this land right here is county land, but it's in the middle of the city. We have two governments, the city council government and the county commissioner government. The city is approximately 50-50 black-white. The county is approximately 75% white, 25% black. But now that there's just basically storage in these old office buildings, and this is not open to the public, I wish they would turn it into a museum. I think that would be great, but they haven't done that yet. The area has kind of turned into a focal point for rallies, prayer vigils. Candidates come and speak on the steps here. I was registering people to vote with the NAACP over there. That used to be my church on that side, which has moved. But Newt Gingrich stood on the steps. He called President Obama the food stamp president. I wish, for 20 years we've been asking the city and county government to get the trucks out of downtown Valdosta, and it's, in my opinion, it's why we can't have a thriving metropolis down here, because of the noise from these trucks and the fumes. So anyway, back to the old courthouse. It's kind of turned into a place where we memorialize our war dead, and all of the monuments here have something to do with war. This one might be the one that has the least to do with war, but it's to remember the people who fought against the international terrorists, who were primarily from Saudi Arabia, who attacked our country on 9/11. Okay, over here, this is the most contentious monument. It's called the Confederate Monument, as you might imagine. And this one, we've asked the county commissioners to move it. I don't think it needs to be destroyed. I just think it needs to be moved to a private place. It should not be in the middle of downtown Valdosta for several reasons. First of all, it's the largest monument down here, and it's to the Confederate war dead. And here you have the Stars and Bars flag on the side here, and it has a sentence in the front that says, "The principles for which they fought live eternally." I hope not. And there's a little carving right there that says Confederate States of America. There's a wreath that was put up during Confederate Month, which I think is March, which is another crazy thing that Georgia does. We don't need to memorialize the Confederacy, and I'll show you why. And it's under video surveillance because obviously it's a contentious place. And on the front here it says, again, CSA, Valdosta Chapter, UDC, I believe that's United Daughters of the Confederacy, 9/11, lest we forget our Confederate dead. Well, there is no hour that should be memorialized here. The people who fought in World War II, the Spanish-American War, the Korean War, and the Vietnam War, they all fought for the United States of America. This group of war dead fought against the United States of America, so that's mainly why they should not be down here. Secondly, as you can see how large it is, it just attracts the podcasters, most of whom are with QAnon in some way, shape, or form. They can't analyze information and come to a valid conclusion. They start with a deep state conspiracy mindset, and they come to Valdosta and they believe that we are a racist town and that everybody in town helped commit and hide a racist murder. And they use this monument to build their argument. They always start off by flying a drone over the monument, and they say, "See, Valdosta keeps this monument in a prominent place to recognize the racist people that still want the principles of the Confederacy to stay in place." Now, I showed you it was put up in 1911. That was in the heyday of the KKK, when the KKK was running free and heinously murdering black people and Catholic people and Jewish people. And right down here we have a monument to Jewish veterans who fought in World War II. So I think it's pretty objectionable not only to have a monument to the Confederacy when you have black people who fought in our wars, but also when you have Jewish people who fought in our wars, and Catholic people, because the KKK was against all of those groups, and immigrants, Hispanic people, you name it. So, you know, the Confederacy wasn't wasn't what a lot of Southerners think it was. They think it was this noble period of fighting for a lost cause, and in reality it was simply a group of people that were trying to maintain their quote way of life, which was slavery, which is objectionable. Of course we needed to overturn that. And I talked yesterday about the Serenity Church, which the Church of the Nazarene was heavily invested in the abolitionist movement, and they would build their church in the form of an overturned slave ship. So the arches going upward represent the hull of the slave ship that's been turned upside down, because the church wanted to overturn slavery, which we all should want. So anyway, back to the monument. The podcasters take a drone, fly over it, say, see, Valdosta's a racist city. They point to the age of the monument. They say they lynched Mary Turner here. Mary Turner was an innocent black woman who was heinously lynched. I'm not going to go into the details. It's horrible. But I think she was lynched in 1918, about 100 years ago. And so none of her murderers are alive today. There are family members of hers that are alive today. And this generational trauma has been passed down in the stories and remembrances of their family. So, you know, they're going to have to live with that the rest of their lives and come to terms with it in their own way. But we should be coming as a society to come together to promote healing and justice and equality and fairness. And this is none of that by having this here. And the county commissioners really ought to take into account that this is used as a symbol by the podcasters that believe Kendrick Johnson was lynched here. They really should take that into account and just move it. There's no reason to keep it here. The rest of the monuments, we had talked one time about adding context to this, historical context, meaning bring in more history of what happened to marginalized people, like we said, Catholics, Jewish people, Hispanics, and of course freed enslaved people, black people. We had talked about that, but I don't think that's appropriate, because even if we do this, if we turn this into a historical area, and if we turn that building into a museum, then that particular monument right there is going to continue to be used as a symbol that Valdosta is a racist town. And I think if you want to attract business and people who say, hey, the non-white people who might work for my company, will they be happy in Valdosta? I doubt that they're going to say, oh yeah, when they look at this monument. So the county commissioners, they're probably never going to listen to us, because it's 3 white commissioners in gerrymandered Republican districts and 2 black commissioners. Even if the black commissioners vote with us, which they probably would, the white commissioners and the white chairman are always going to overrule them in a vote situation. So if there are civil rights activists who want to take up this cause, here you go. There's some of the reasons why I hope some of the students who come after me will try to get this out of downtown Valdosta. And I'll talk later about why I'm no longer involved in civil rights here in Valdosta. But you know, a lot of people think, oh, it's because you went against the KJ family. No, I'll tell you all about it, but later on. Okay, bye.